let's get started here today. Hey folks, how you doing? What's up, man? We're going to work on some more Eberron art today. Let me check to see if my signal's up. I'll punch out a signal. Big respect to the Eberron Discord community for hosting my stream and being receptive to the work that we're doing. So I really appreciate you. And let me drop the scale here. I'm going to just do some quick social media postings, and then we're going to get live. So let me tell you my origin story here real quick to keep you entertained while I press buttons a dozen times. My name is Theurgy. Hey, I create role-playing games. I illustrate them. I publish them online, and I am going to let's see. I've been running games in Dungeons and Dragons since 1987. I've been using Eberron as my plane of homebrew origin since 2006. Happy 20th anniversary in 2024 to Keith Baker and the world of Eberron. And I've been creating content on DMsGuild since 2017. But I haven't published an adventure. So this is the first adventure publication that we've been working on. It's Crystals of a Bar. It's for 4 to 5 characters, level 7 to 8, to fight undead and necromancers in the Carnwood in the nation of Karnath. Wait for it. There we go. Right. On the continent of Corvair, we've been creating for the past. Where am I at? We're on episode 292. So for almost 300 episodes, we've been creating maps, tokens, and other game assets to go with this adventure. That will all be included in the published adventure once it's live on DMsGuild. And so you can check out the full playlist here. We created this book cover back around episode 40, so you can check that out. And I am on the X Twitter platform at Phil Kearney if you want to check out what I got going on there. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notifications of when we're live in the future. And thanks to everyone that is a subscriber and is interested in this art creation journey that we take from ideation to publication with books that we produce. So we've got a number of different projects that we're slowly picking away at every day. I'm here 9 times per week, Monday through Friday in the mornings, just like this. We're creating Eberron token assets, and we'll eventually, very soon, be doing page layouts for the adventure as well, into interior artwork and then publication. So we're coming along. Maybe November is plausible. I think it's probably at this point going to be December. I don't have any big vacations planned this year, so a pre-Christmas release may be realistic. But I'm just getting the work done as I get it done. I'm also working on some Spelljammer stuff. Once per week, we work on Spelljammer, Fleet Combat, Warforged, Mecha Titans, Kaiju, as well as subclasses and deck maps for mega scale ships. And then we do that on Thursday nights. On Tuesdays and Fridays, just like today, we are working on the Magic the Gathering color, land, hex crawl generator system that I'm using to playtest the Martial Powers system. That is an alternate magic system for martial characters. We're currently testing level 5. And we got a team of 4 to 5 folks that are throwing down 5th level characters to go run around and kill monsters and solve puzzles and fight crime or whatever it is that they decide to get up into. I'm going to change this up. Pixels 3. Let's go to the canopy here. Let's separate these. So we're currently making canvas. This Wervery surface here is foliage tree canvas. Like the extent that the foliage provides cover and obscurement to anything that's flying from above. And then we can lift off the canopy and show just the skeleton of the tree underneath it. And then we color the canopy and then we color the trees. So that's the creative process that we're going through, and we're making a bunch of tokens here so that we don't have to do the work again when we have 2 forest maps. This is a forest clearing for camp, and another one is going to be an optional pre-generated encounter in the adventure called Up a Tree, where a bunch of NPCs are trapped by undead in a tree, and they would very much like help in getting down and escaping. So when the team kills the undead, the NPCs are appreciative and offer the characters information. Whether the information they provide them is accurate or not is another question, but it is a prompt to basically an arrow that points players continue going this way to danger, and then pointing the arrow back at the village this way to safety. So the team if the team is plane shifted into the environment without a GPS location of their own to be able to see where they're at, it can be pretty disorienting. So having NPCs that are, if you could start in the village at the very beginning of the adventure, you can start in the forest on the way to the manifest zone of Mabar. We've spent a lot of time on many episodes in the introductions talking about the plane of Mabar, so go skip back like 10 episodes and you'll probably find it. But yeah, this looks better. Making these out of separate trees is the right choice. I like them. I like them being clumped up. Like we got a couple that are clumped here together, and here's some trees that are clumped together. I think that's realistic because this is a clearing, so it's a more sparse. Sparse frequency of trees, but as you get further and further in, it thickens and thickens, and so we want to have these thickness languages figured out. I think I want to have this kind of like that, and then we can leave this clump of trees like this, but this is giving us an idea of where the center point is here and here, and there's probably some encroachment over here. We're just going to leave it with these 2 trees like that. Our center is probably around here. Here and here seems realistic. And these are, the center of this tree is probably here, so a branch like that, this makes more sense. Yeah. So let's do that. So yeah, once we this is the more difficult map to do, and once we finish this, the second forest map should only take a couple days, a couple hours to get completed. That feels right, like that. These are going to intertwine. Another tree would probably be, let's flesh this out and get our radius down. Figure out where the next one's going to be. Here and here, so we're probably looking at here, so you got branches coming in like this. And I'm just intentionally letting those run off the page. That's reaching too far. And then we got one last tree down here in the corner that we're going to build out like all these guys. But yeah, that's a good base. So let's get back to work. See, we already started in over here and fleshing out these far western branches. We're just going to keep filling in the details here. And then on Saturday I just do whatever. Usually, well, I won't say usually. Let's see what's the language. Mondays are currently being used for the Martial Powers 5th level playtest. And if you're interested, you can kick on over my Discord channel, which is linked down below. You are most welcome to show up and throw some mana around with us and fight monsters in Ravnica wastelands. Love to have you. So when I'm playtesting, it's typically either on Mondays or Saturdays. So about half the year, those days I do not stream because of testing. The other times I'll just work on whatever it is that I'm working on, either a commission project, or I'll pick one of the projects that I already have open and play with it, or maybe I'll just mess around with ideas. It's a grab bag. I do whatever I want on Saturday. There's no specific set rule about what's going to get done that day, and it's always shifting. As one project gets completed, I publish it. I then take one of the other projects I'm doing and I roll it forward, and all the other projects move forward with it, and then I add in ideation for the next project at the back end of it. So I've got this like slow procession of multiple books that are at different stages of production that we're always just pushing forward. I could probably, I don't honestly know if it's faster for me to just work on one single project and then punch it out. I can see the advantage of that, and if I'm working in one, they have the potential of getting paid quicker, which I certainly appreciate. But there's also a wide variety of interests in the folks that watch my stuff, so it's nice to be able to offer a wide variety of concepts that we're working on, and have some potential cross interest into other topics that we're working on to help expand whoever's interest overall. And I need to start taking some conversations and extracting them into standalone videos, just to be something interesting for folks to chew on, instead of having to crawl through it'd still be me doing artwork and stuff, but I'd be talking about, like, it would be like a 5-minute clip about a specific subject, for instance. I think that's a good idea that I need to execute. Anyway, I keep talking about doing it, so I'm gonna have to start. I'm gonna have to figure out where to make time for that. So I'm probably gonna have to push a different project back on the workbench, so that I can move forward in cataloging some of these conversations a little bit more closely, which is unto itself its own ongoing project. Good. A branch here. Thin that down. Taper it off a little bit. That's too symmetrical, and that thickness is weird. So I'm going to pull that forward a tick. we'll be playtesting the I think once we finish the 5th and 6th level playtesting for the power system, I think that's probably when we're going to playtest the fleet battle for the Spelljammer stuff that I've been streaming. And that'll probably be on a Saturday. So like my Mondays will show back up on stream for a little bit. But then my Saturday will disappear because I'll be playtesting Spelljammer on Saturday. And that'll probably be beginning of like early September. And then off-screen production time is largely spent on this, like doing text or follow-ups or edits, planning for the page layouts, which we will. I shan't be streaming page layouts very much because they aren't generally very entertaining. It's just watching me pushing text around a page often, or muttering to myself, which isn't very, I think, entertaining. But artwork like this, I don't have to think about what I'm actually doing here. I don't have to consider the meaning of words or anything. I'm just pushing pixels around until the eye likes what it sees, and that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. I do want to replace that with this. So that's why I like to stream artwork. First, there's a lot of it, so it is intimidating and daunting the amount of work that goes into building all the assets and design for an adventure, just like making an adventure. If it's more than if it's more than a 5-room dungeon, it is there's like 7 detailed encounters, and there's 5 complete maps that are at least 40 inches in size, with multiple encounter locations inside of them. And one's an actual dungeon, another one is a cemetery, another is a flooded fort ruin, and another one is a village that's overrun with undead. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, and then there's a gatehouse with a squad of soldiers. And there's the sinkhole map where undead crawl out of. There's an encounter location, a gazebo in the wastes, or in the necrotic swamp. And then we have this forest, and then the next forest. This is for if the team takes a long rest in the Carnwood, outside of the village on their own, out of protection. Potentially being attacked by undead. No spoilers. Thicken that up as it moves further away from the tips of the branch. That's a big horkin' tree. Let's switch this up a little bit. Let's take this to here, and then free transform. Let's rotate this so like this is becoming. Like, here's your center. There you go. Thank you, Timely Timer. I've got what, 40 minutes left? Yeah, we got some time. So my plan this weekend is to finish up the there's a one of the potential expansion, like continuing the campaign. If you want to use this adventure as a jump start to the rest of a campaign that can take you from level 8 to 20, is that so the Eye of Mabar is an artifact that was created to attune to the plane of Mabar, where undead come from, and basically create an artificial zone where the plane of Mabar and Eberron overlap with each other, called a manifest zone. When two planes co-terminate, TM. Hold on. I'm adjusting my vertical and horizontal. There we go. That feels pretty good. What's going on in the middle here, though? Yeah. Feels about right. There's a big old gap in here, though, I think needs filling. That feels pretty good. So thanks everyone that's been checking out the channel and sticking around to see where things go. I try to create a study hall type environment where people are welcome to hang out while I'm streaming and just shoot the shit, ask questions. I don't have any specific design topic today. There, that looks pretty good. So let's zoom in and make this more delicate. And clean up all the mess. It's still a little rough. There you go. You don't want the joint to be too thick, because then it looks weird on the branch. Looks like a snake head. Bend that up a little bit. Bend that up. Straighten that out. Good. Here. These two are friends. They hold hands when it gets windy. Carve away all this junk here that we built up. There. Let's crook that so we have a reason to toss in a new branch extension off screen. Looks cool. I like that. Yeah, last night we were working on the Warforged and Machines supplement for Spelljammer. I'm envisioning Storm King's Thunder, where the team is going from location to location across Faerun to fight dragons that are trying to take over territories. And so the Sky Castle flies into range, and then the characters jump into their Zords, or War Titans or War Mecha or whatever you want to call them, and then Skyfall from the floating castle and fights the dragon at the 50-foot scale, so you can make the dragons really, really big, like a 300-foot, 700-foot dragon, however big you want to make it. You can make a massive sized dragon, and then you put the characters into these like 50-foot frame War Titans, and then they can fight these giant scale monsters. And it's a very it could be you could rebuild Storm King's Thunder to be very XCOM in style, because you're flying your base from location to location, and then fighting the threats that are arriving, that are present there. And since the castle is on clouds, as soon as that has a high enough elevation and the weather will allow for it, you can stealth. Oh my god, that'd be so cool. Like to have a weather system map that shows where cloud coverage is moving across Faerun and the weather pattern that day, so you can use the cover of clouds in the Sky Castle to stealth up on different locations, so that the dragon that's lording the area doesn't see you coming. So that you can skyfall onto them and potentially catch them by surprise. But on a clear day, a single cloud moving with intention is going to be super obvious to an intelligent creature. So the team has to take the risk, like depending on what the weather pattern is doing, the team will have to risk exposing their movements and getting attacked by dragon allies on your way from one location to another. That sounds super fun. That would be a really cool version of Storm King's Thunder. But that's what I like to do. Reimagine how adventures can be played and what resources and tools are needed to make it happen, and then run it. Like the Spelljammer Descent into Avernus playtest campaign was fucking fun. That's what I should do with Warforged Machines, is take extractions from Storm King's Thunder for opposing giants and dragon fighting. Well, crap. Now I really want to do that. That would be crazy fun. feels good. So what I need to be doing is following the process. I'm not following the process. The process is thin out the branches at the tips and then work our way in. That is the process. I'm getting lost in tangents that I see. I'm like, ooh, pretty, look at that. Ooh, pretty, look at that. Ooh, pretty, look at that. And a lot of that stuff gets resolved during the process. So, getting back to the process, which is thin the tips and then work our way in. So we thin all the tips, and then we work our way in branch by branch. Like that. So thin that down. Thin that down. Make sure this is on the right line. Well, there is that. I did need to make sure all the lines were going the way I wanted before I thinned them down. So that seems fair. But yeah, I'm going to be back at lunch today working on martial powers stuff. I'm not 100% sure. I think I'm going to continue working on adventure encounter locations inside of the hex crawl. I'm going to have some downtime on Sunday, and I'll be able to think about the first. Like if I have 4 or 5 encounters in mind, that's generally going to keep the team occupied for 3 hours of play. Four decent battles, and then yakety schmackety and exploration stuff. That'll take care of 3 hours a game. Take this and I can pull this over here, and then I can bend the branch to here. That's logical. Or organic. That feels organic. Let me fill in the gap there. Nice. I want to curve that a little bit more. This. I know this is not what I'm supposed to be doing, but here I am. I am kind of approaching this from a tree perspective, aren't I? I mean, that sounds stupid. I mean, like, instead of doing the entire foliage line, I'm doing this because it's like an individual. These two trees are like bound together. Makes sense I would complete this before moving on to the next one. I'm okay with that. That looks really good. This is a Curse of Strahd weekend on Saturday night every other week, including this week. I am privileged to be playing a 4th level sorcerer in a Curse of Strahd game. 5th edition, of course. There are these long, sleek, fluid branches that have shot past this crookedy and decrepit one. It's like this one's withering away from the lack of light while these other ones are flourishing around it. That's interesting. So it slides away. There we go. And then we want to curve that in. Let's clean up these lines a little bit. "20 minutes left. Happy to have them." There we go. That feels better. Thin that in a little bit. Nice. make that. There we go. Just want to get our little dots. Stuff that don't belong. Smooth that out a tick. Looks pretty good. Let's go back into the canopy here real quick to make sure everything sits pretty. I did build the canopy at a fairly far distance, so I just want to make sure that it is clean. A little bit of clean up here. Side there. I think I want to bring this in a little bit. But I'm fine with the foliage disappearing between the two of them. I think that looks cool. Nice and clean. There you go. So these are two trees that are kind of bound up with each other. If we were to do the full map, this could be like a cluster of like, what we'll probably do with the next map is have some clusterings like that. Okay, cool. So let's see what is next. Let's get back into the foliage down here. I'm gonna erase back that a bit. Let's get back into the canopy here real quick. Make sure everything's sitting pretty. Erase. Clean that up. Here, so we get more of that curve going in here. No, that's clipping. That feels much better. I'm gonna hit save real quick because my gut told me to. I think this foliage stuff will be done by the time we come back on Monday. I'm gonna probably take a couple hours on Saturday to finish off this this line art bit. Again, we come in here, we thin out the tips, taper them off. Here, make sure this stuff's all clean. Clean. Good. And then we'll go back into this as usual. Thin these things down. Extend that out. Thin this up. Tapered, 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 tapered. Okay, cool. So we'll just thicken these up. Like that, there we go. That looks pretty good. You can shift these all over. Pull them forward a bit. This is here. This is curving in like that. Really good. I feel like these should actually be free transform, tilted over more like this. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thin that up a touch. Here. Extend this a little bit further. It's probably going to end up thickening the whole branch as a result of it, but I think it is added value. Yeah, so we're going to have to thicken this here. And thicken it there. Now this branch has to thicken, so it has to taper more. There. It's still a little thick. I need to thin this down a little bit more here. There. save again. Yeah, we're making progress. I grabbed my eye, so I'm going to fix that while I was looking at it. Feels like it should be curving in more here. Same here. This needs to curve in more. Good. And good. Just a little bit more adjustment. Because we can slide this over a little bit more. Transform. Yeah, that'll do. Center's going to be around here, which seems to be where this is all leading to. So I can grab this and pull this over a little bit more. Good, that feels better. And this one is good. So then let's get back into this one. We can just keep pushing forward. We're almost out of time for the day, so we'll just preen this one a touch. Good. All right, so I think I'll have the ability to get this done and this tree done. I think I can do that off screen and have and be back up and running with you guys on Monday, having completed all the trees, and then probably working on like little tent, sleeping bag, campfire assets to drop here in this clearing. And then we'll be able to take all these little these tree tokens, and then we'll color everything. We'll have, once we get the actual black and white completed with all its assets, then we color all of it, and then from there we can pick up the whole thing and then drop it into another map, rearrange the assets, increase the density, and have the up tree encounter. So, but that's where we're at right now. We're looking good. So anyone that's tagging along with us, thanks a lot. Be welcome to drop comments down below. Catch up with me on the Discord channel. You can follow me on the X Twitter platform. Check out some of the books that I've produced on DMsGuild. They're down below, and I'll be back on at at 1 o'clock today. That's 5 hours from now, 5.5 hours from now, 1:30-ish Seattle time. I expect to be on for about an hour or so doing martial power stuff. So I'll see you guys then. Thanks a lot. Cheers.